It's Sunday morning with Mark Sainsbury.
Well, we're back, and of course it is business time here on Radio Live, and on the line from Perth, he's a busy man, isn't he, is the good doctor, Dr. Harold Hillman. Good morning, Harold.
Good morning, Mark.
All right, so you're over there doing business work, sorting out those Aussies.
I am. I'm over here working with an executive team.
Okay, one of the things you're probably going to talk to them about, I think we're going to talk about this morning, is self-awareness.
Yes, self-awareness, Mark. It is, look, you're not going to be a good leader, an effective leader, and for that matter, you're not going to be an effective teammate if you don't know some basic things about yourself that may, in some cases, be working against you. So I call self-awareness that knowledge that you have about all those things that help you perform at your best, as well as knowing those things that you should avoid because they bring out the worst in you. It's sort of a sense of when I do these things, I'm observing that people turn away from me. And when I do these things, I'm observing that people actually move towards me. So it's just calibrating more around what helps you be as effective as possible.
So you have to go on people's reaction to you as opposed to your own assessment of what you think you are.
It is, Mark. I often remind people that self-awareness is relative to other people around you. It wouldn't be important if it didn't matter that knowing yourself better can actually, again, help you be more effective. I can give you a couple of examples, Mark.
Yeah.
One might be, like, if you know you have a strong bias for action. I work with a lot of leaders who just want to make quick decisions and they don't like a whole lot of conversation. Well, if you know you have a strong bias for action, you're going to have to slow the conversation down a little bit. You're going to have to balance it out for those who may need to put certain things on the table but may be sort of inhibited by doing so because you have this urgency about you. So that's one example. Another example that I often run across is team leaders who they are conflict avoidant. They don't like tension or they don't like a little bit of heat at their table. So if that's the case, then you're going to have to resist the temptation to shut down a good debate because debate is healthy. Just sort of knowing those things that you may want to reel back on a little bit because it makes a big difference in terms of people being able to contribute, be effective, those types of things.
Could it be, Harold, that some people are good at certain times of the day? You know, they're good morning people, afternoons not so great. Have you got to be aware of that sort of stuff?
Mark, that's certainly the case with me. And I read an interesting article the other day on fatigue. This was related to driving, people driving while fatigued. And I didn't realize it, but it makes sense. The worst time, there are two worst times to try to drive or to focus or to concentrate is between 1 and 5 in the morning and 1 and 5 in the afternoon. And it amazes me how sometimes we put the most important meetings where we have to be focused and, really attentive in the afternoon when our biorhythm is off. And so that's another thing. Know your biorhythm and start scheduling your meetings around the flow of your own energy so that you're at your maximum effectiveness versus being drained by the end of the day. That's one of those, a person who's self-aware does everything that you can to keep your energy at a good level. You're really just sort of regulating around what's going to be the best way for me to be around the result that I want.
So all this is about giving yourself the best shot at performing at your best.
It is, Mark, and it requires I call it go deep and take a personal inventory, which helps also if you ask people, what am I good at? What am I doing that really works? And what am I doing that's getting in the way? Assuming good intent, what are the things about me that actually block my progress and shut other people out and those types of things? If you open yourself to feedback, do a bit of a personal inventory, it sends a strong message to people that you are concerned about your effectiveness, that you do want to be a better leader, that you do want to be a better team member. And people tend to lean into folks who are, really focused on being better, improving their game.
So if you're hopeless, though, at self-awareness, does that mean you can't be a leader?
Oh, Mark, a person is really going to struggle if they have poor self-awareness. It means that they're going to keep stumbling and fumbling into different scenarios. People are reasonably forgiving if they sense that you are learning from mistakes and mishaps. But if you continue to do those things and you give people the sense that you can't learn from either their feedback or just the fact that you're not making much traction, it's going to work against your effectiveness as a leader. I really strongly believe that without self-awareness, you're going to struggle.
Can you learn it?
You can, Mark. You got to be motivated, and that's one of the things that I look for when I'm coaching a manager or a leader. There are two primary things that I look for. One of those is motivation, and that is, are you motivated to do something different that'll bring about a different result? Sometimes when people's bosses order them into coaching or direct them into coaching, they're doing it to cover their behinds. They're not necessarily doing it because they want to improve. So motivation to improve is one thing, and then the second one is self-awareness, and that is, even if you're motivated to improve, if you're not willing to go inward and really take a look at how you're thinking may be getting in the way, how you may need to change the way you think about certain people or certain situations. If you're not able to do that or willing to do that, it's not going to work out probably with respect to you being an effective leader.
Hey, good on you, Harold, and thanks for joining us very, very early in the morning over there in Perth.
It is early, Mark, but that's okay. It's always a pleasure.
And check out Harold's website, sigmoidcurve.com.